They say, well, that's personal preference. Okay, well, what about the kids? How come you're trying to not help us normalize it in front of children? And I'm not just talking about gay sex. I'm talking about just homosexual relationships and period. Love is love, right? If you're a parent today, you probably want to protect your child from the LGBT activist community. You see how they're attempting to force horrible things on children, and by horrible things, I mean that they're trying to force not just homosexuality, but pedophilia. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there was a few schools that had books that had pedophilia inside it. And not just, I mean, like there was a gardener, I think it was called Lawn Boy, and a 4th grade student talking about putting his member in his mouth. That was a line in the book. The other one had graphic, and I'm not talking about like detailed pictures drawn of homosexual acts occurring. And this was a kid's book. So we're seeing that in schools. There are drag shows for kids that look nothing close to kid-friendly. And those of you know what I'm talking about, the recent Dallas show, right? Which had drag queens dancing provocatively in front of children as children handed them money. What was the point of that? Pride parades and events that feature all sorts of kink. You've seen pictures and videos of pride parades, but they're saying, yes, there's kink here. We display kink. Bring your kids. Why? I don't want them to see that. This kid's learning how to count to 3. He's learning his ABCs. Why do I want to take him to a parade so that a dude wearing a dildo on the outside can wag it around in front of him? What's the point? Transgender teenagers who isolate themselves away from family and friends. Should it not scare anybody that a lot of these kids who get introduced to this stuff, who are convinced that they're LGBT by mainstream culture, suffer from major amounts of depression? They isolate themselves away from friends and family because, the friends and family don't quite agree with their lifestyle, and so they are taught to consider these people bigoted and hateful. And then their whole lives become consumed by delusional activism and unhealthy lifestyles that often lead to depression or, at the extreme of that extreme, suicide. Suicide rates among teenagers who will consider themselves transgender are abnormally high. So if you're a parent and you see all this happening in the LGBT community right now, why would you want your kid to get into it? Pedophilia, depression, suicide, cut off from family and friends. Why would you want that? Brad Slager wrote an awesome article just the other day that pointed out that Lightyear had nothing to gain by including that kiss in there. I mean, literally, they've lost millions and millions of dollars. Because markets rejected it, and people are going to reject it. There's only one reason that they would do this, and it's for political reasons. Why would I want to subject my child to political ideologism? I know that's not a word, I just made it up. Which would be a gateway to something that right now is dangerous to them. Why would I do that? It'd be like dropping my kid off at a crack house to be babysat. And again, I want to make this clear. The LGBT community is full of lovely people who are just as common sense driven as you and I. Many, many people. I have friends. They're great. These people are great. But there is a large part of that community, especially its activist community, that does not care about the health of your children. It does not care what it might do to them to bring them into this kind of lifestyle. Also, I want to make this clear. We have a biological need to procreate. And some parents just want to see their child continue their line and have kids and live a normal life, a normal heterosexual life. And by the way, that is normal. That's how we function by nature. It's okay to want that for your kid. What I'm trying to get at here, folks, is that this whole entire thing has been framed in such a way that it makes it seem like any resistance whatsoever to the LGBT community, no matter how innocent, is just hateful, and it's hate and bigotry, homophobia, and it's not. Sometimes we just don't want to take part in that, and that's okay. It's okay. We can still be friends, we can still be homies, but we don't have to be involved in your lifestyle.